So the last area of the tools section is the system functionality. So manage demo vehicles, that's on a separate video around demonstration logs, which is part of the demo log here. So we're going to skip over that part for now. Finance companies. So it's really critical that you put your finance companies into here so that when you create an order form, you can have an invoice to and register to section. So any finance companies that you are partnered with, please put the details in and save it into here so you can use it from the drop down box when you accept an offer. Demo form disclaimer is obviously part of the demo log, which we're going to skip over. Points to success. So in the video regarding sales reporting, there is a points to success description in there of what that does. Now, if you want to change the amount of points awarded or taken away from the sales team that use the points to success league table, you can actually change that in here. So very simple to focus the attention on a certain stage of the sales journey. So if you're struggling to get demonstrations or you're struggling to get offers in front of people, then you might say, okay, for this week, team, we're going to give you 10 points for every offer you give instead of 3, and hopefully it will just focus their mind, make sure that they turn an active prospect into an active offer, so it gives them more points. And nobody likes to be the bottom of a league table, so it just drives that performance. Then we have the mileage comparison calculator, which is available when you stack a deal and click send offer, and it just gives you a monthly saving of how much they're paying, how much their current car does to the gallon, and how much fuel is. So it's quite a raw calculator, but it's really useful when you're trying to objection handle discount, because if you know that the car that the customer is coming out of is more frugal than the one that they're considering purchasing, and you can show them how much they might save by changing their current car into a new vehicle, then it might just get you around a discount conversation. Vehicle quotation form, you can add just a paragraph or a sentence to every quotation form that you print off and give to the customer if you wish. So mine says all quotations are valid for 7 days or cease validity at the end of each month, whichever comes first. You can have whatever you want in there. Dealer options. So whatever GAP, Smart Repair, Tyre and Alloy, whatever insurance products you provide, just make sure they're in here. And if there's any accessories that you sell often, and to save the execs or the users having to keep typing the accessory over and over and over again, if you put it into here, then it's just a matter of just ticking the yes box because it'll already be available. So if I just go into one of these, so go into GAP for instance, so you can see here this is a GAP insurance, which is a 3-year term, 70 to 120,000. So I've put my vehicle price and price from and price to, so I know that it will only recommend that product determined by the price. So if I'm selling a car that's 65,000, it won't recommend me that product, it will recommend me another one. If I'm selling the vehicle at 75,000, then I know that's the right product. And also change cycle as well. If I've put in a 2-year change cycle, it's not going to recommend me a 3-year product, determined by if you use our TCF module. So our TCF module is where this area here comes into place really. So these 3: price from, price to, and term cover. Tax is generally going to be higher rate IPT, insurance premium tax. And then if you use our profit DOC module, then we have the price, the cost price and the sale price goes in here, just so it can start to calculate how much you're earning from the products that you sell. Deal builder settings. So VAT, IPT, HIPT, and then you've got how much does petrol and diesel cost in terms of the mileage comparison calculator that I've already shown you. How much would you like to start your hire purchase rate at if you're using the generic deal stack? So if you're when you're in the deal builder screen down the right hand side, you've got hire purchase expandable box. you can actually determine where what rate you start at. Then we've got some title changes if you wish to make them types of changes. Just changes the wording. So if you're a brand that, for instance, maybe a Skoda retailer, instead of it saying GMFV, you might actually put Solutions Final Payment or something, just so you can actually give it a different wording. Incentives and discounts, so you can add in whichever titles that you'd like for your discount line. So again, branded new car showrooms generally will have quite a few different incentives on. So you want your order form to be fully broken down into each level, so you know how to claim for the money that you've given off, perhaps, or it might be a test drive voucher incentive. So you would put them in either including or excluding VAT. So we've got a government grant there which is excluding VAT. That is for fully electric vehicles. Sorry, it's called an OLEV grant. Now that is approximately £2,000 to £4,000 off of a new electric vehicle, but it's not a VATable figure, so it sits below the VAT line if you tick the X VAT box. If you have a DMS integration, excuse me, with CDK, for instance, then if you put your DMS codes in, then it will even transfer the correct discount onto the order form in CDK. Now, dealer system settings got quite a lot of functionality in. This is really how you can set up the system to put some blocks in. So we've got print a quotation when printing an offer. So our offer puts all of the insurance products into one price. So if you want that broken down, then if you tick this box, then the idea would be you'd present the offer, Foursquare offer sheet to the customer, and then just turn it over, and that would give you a full breakdown of what's on that offer sheet. Print terms and conditions with each quotation if you'd like to. Remove the year introduced from all printed documentation. So our data that we pull through for new cars and used cars is cap data. So for instance, let's say a car says Land Rover Evoque 2016, for instance, diesel hatchback 2016. So that would show on the order form. A customer may then question why their new car that they're buying says 2016 when it's actually 2019. And then you're getting into not an argument, but maybe a bit of confrontation as a customer saying, I don't want a car that's been sitting in a field, etc. So by ticking this box, it just means that it will remove the year, and all it is it's the year that the car was released. So it's not actually saying it's been sitting in a field or anything. It's just saying the model that you're buying or interested in buying was released in this year. Show a warning when adding a stock vehicle to an inquiry if it's attached to another one. Show a warning when adding a second inquiry to a customer when one exists. We'd recommend that you tick certainly this box, and then up to you if you want the stock warning as well. You can change the order form layout if you wish, but new order form is obviously the one that we'd expect you to be using. You can change the forced annual mileage to whatever you wish to be, and change the change cycle as well. This is where the qualification area is. So this is if you want the customers to start at a lower change cycle, then you can change it. And then allow vehicles to be reserved, and how many days do you want them to be reserved for. Stock vehicle reservation is actually on another video, but this is just to show how many days the car is reserved for before it drops off reservation. You can change how many days that is, but if you want to, any group manager access can actually go in and override that 30 days and unreserved vehicles in a group level user login. And then finally in this page we have the address formatting area. So you can see I've just changed mine around slightly, so we have the street and house number, street name and house number on the same line, and then the village, then the town, county, postcode, etc. It just gives a nicer layout if I was choosing to export all my data and I wanted to do a mail shot. I'd want the address to look a certain way. So that's what that does. Order forecast settings. So we've gone through in sales reports how you can use this to drive the performance of the team through targeting how many inquiries and test drives do they need to sell the amount of cars that you'd like them to sell. And you can also put KPIs, and you can put a carryover sum as well. So if you want to actually say, well, this month you're down by 3, so I'm going to put that in your carryover, you can carry over. SMS and email templates we will cover off on a separate video because it is it's quite involved. But just briefly in here, let's go into one that I've already got set up. So if you click on edit template here, so first of all you have trigger types. So if you would like to set a trigger for an email template to go, you can set these at points in the process. Then you can paste text or you can paste source code, so HTML source code into there. If you want to embed video, imagery, you can either just paste an image or you can insert it via URL. And then also with that URL you can actually link in sort of different websites and things into there as well, and open it in a new window. So if the customer clicks on the image, it can direct them into different web pages. SMS and email alert triggers. So if you would like an internal email or text to go to someone regarding, let's say a retail user loads a commercial customer, you might choose to actually send an automatic email to your LBDM to say that this customer's been in, just so they can the correct experience within the team can look after the correct types of customer that come through. Manufacturer email templates. If you are part of Jaguar Land Rover, then you will have manufacturer email templates fed into there periodically, which you can then choose to set them to trigger if you'd like to. If you set them to trigger, then you can use these very professional looking email templates to keep your customers updated on certain parts of that journey. System notifications is the last section of the system functionality section of tools. So you can actually trigger emails to automatically go, again, when Excel users complete certain parts of the process. So if you'd like an email every time an inquiry gets loaded, which I would recommend for business managers, so every time an inquiry gets loaded you get an email, and hopefully you're going to be expecting the salesperson to walk through the door at any time to start discussing that inquiry. If you want an email for central leads being allocated, then obviously you've got that as part of the managed users area, but you can also have it in here as well. Maybe a head of business might want to know every time a car gets sold. Sales execs want to know every time a customer arrives for an appointment. So if they've got their work emails on their phone, no matter where they are on the site, they'll hopefully be looking at their phone and get a vibration or a ting. When they look at their email, it will say this customer has arrived for their appointment. So they hopefully, if that's their customer, they'll run back into the showroom and be able to deal with that customer in a correct way. And that's the end of the tools area.